one thing I learned was when you write for coaches and speakers and authors, you have to be really authentic. You can't be really hypey and salesy
Right.
and all that. So
Right.
I had to dial back all the stuff, all the hypey stuff I learned in radio.
Hello and welcome. You've landed on Zero Limits Living. I'm Dr. Joe Vitale. Every week, I bring you inspiration and information to transform your life. This show has become so popular so quickly, you can now see it or hear it on 1,000 platforms across the planet, maybe the galaxy. That includes Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, YouTube, and probably anything you can mention and probably anything you're using right now. I'm making it easy for you to binge on all these shows by simply going to ZeroLimitsLivingTV.com, ZeroLimitsLivingTV.com. You can also sign up there to be notified by email whenever there's a new episode. People ask about coaching all the time. I started a coaching program 20 some years ago, trademarked it 15 some years ago. It's a system that's proven to work. Find out for yourself, no charge, no obligation. Just go to miraclescoaching.com, miraclescoaching.com, and fill out the form and have a conversation. My latest program is really blowing up. People are loving it. It's called mentaltimetravelsystem.com, mentaltimetravelsystem.com. My latest book, Unexpected Kindness. It's in hardcover, paperback, audio is available, or simply go to unexpectedkindnessbook.com. And now let's get to the heart of the matter. I have a question for you. Am I real? Are you listening to a artificial intelligence form of Dr. Joe Vitale? If you're listening to this on audio as a podcast and not seeing the visual, how do you know it's actually my voice and not being programmed and not being told what to say by Chat GPT or some version of the latest craze, which is AI or artificial intelligence? And if you have explored it a little bit, are you scared or are you inspired? And if you looked at the visuals, how do you know what's being created and put out there is actually real or is actually a composite or actually created by some form of artificial intelligence? The same with video. There are AI programs that are editing videos and creating things that may never have meant to be created. Is this new trend actually new for one thing? And is it a good thing or a bad thing? Can it help you or can it actually hurt you? Can it harm you? We're going to find out all of that and more in today's episode of Zero Limits Living. My expert guest is Andy O'Brien. He's dedicated 2 decades to crafting direct response copy for entrepreneurs like coaches, speakers, and authors. He specializes in ethical sales copy that resonates emotionally and tells a compelling story, tailored to each client's unique voice and mission. In January of 2023, he co founded the AI Success Club with Denise Wakeman, teaching members to harness AI for achieving their copy and content objectives. And now, with the just launched AI to human copywriting system, Andy is breaking new ground, revealing how to blend AI efficiency with the depth of human emotion and leading the charge into the future of copywriting. And his website is AISuccessClub.com, AISuccessClub.com. And we'll say that a little later. Andy O'Brien, welcome.
Thanks so much, Joe, and it's truly an honor to be here. I really appreciate you having me on here.
Of course, you're one of the good guys out there in the world. And I mean this in the most sincere way. And I think you know what I'm talking about because there's a lot of sultans of deceit that are swindling people and giving them promises and not delivering. But you've been doing this for a few decades, at least a couple decades that I'm aware of. And you've always been this really great guy that I've always enjoyed talking to or interacting with, or you interviewed me for your AI Success Club at one point. Every time I have that interaction, it's like, this is one of the noble folks. This guy needs to be known even more than what he is. So thank you for agreeing to be here.
Well, it's my pleasure. And listening to your introduction was really set the stage perfectly for this conversation because I've been living in this for the last 12 months. I mean, back at this time last year, AI was like a blip in the radar. I mean, there was
Right,
like nothing.
right.
Nobody was talking about AI except for, Terminator movies, maybe. But it only took a few weeks after that, like early December,
Mhm.
where there were a few ripples and people started talking about artificial intelligence a little more directly, especially on social media and
Yeah.
in certain circles,
Mhm.
not just in the techie world, but it started becoming a little more widely known. And then Denise Wakeman and I, like who the person you mentioned earlier, she's a
Mhm.
blogging legend in her own right. We got together and started talking like, well, wait a minute, something is happening here. There's something is bubbling underneath the surface, and this could really take off. Sure enough,
Yeah.
it wasn't long after that, January, things started getting a little more mainstream, and in February we launched the club, and it just exploded. We
Mm.
got hundreds of members right away, and and then it started really the momentum really started building, and just in the last few months we started seeing some things that were a little odd, like
Oh.
in emails, subject lines, sales pages, video scripts. We're like, wait a minute, this is all starting to sound a little similar, and
Ah.
that's when we started to sit up and take notice. But it was really the thing is, it's so tempting to just use AI for everything just because it's so fast.
Mhm.
As a copywriting master yourself, and I've learned from you.
Mm.
I mean, you were one of my inspirations in learning
Oh, thank you.
copywriting and launching my career. So I have you to thank, for that. And staring at a blank page is really gut wrenching, and
Yeah.
frustrating. So
Hemingway said you sit at the typewriter and bleed.
yeah,
And a lot of
yeah.
copywriters do that. They just sit there and wanna shoot themselves because it's hard to come up with the first words sometimes.
Yeah, so it would take, what used to take days, even weeks to craft a really good sales page or email series now takes hours or minutes. And so people fell into that temptation, and now you're seeing AI copy all over the place.
Right.
And so, it's just been a whirlwind.
Well,
What's
let me interrupt you there, 'cause
Yeah.
I find all of this fascinating, and I wanna deep dive into artificial intelligence and find out where it's useful and where we need to be alert. But I need to go a little bit further back for everybody that's coming here that doesn't know who you are or where you came from. You've been doing this for 20 years. How did you get started in copywriting? Let's start there, and we can bring it up to present time.
Okay, I'm glad you asked because actually it started in the 80s when I
Uh-huh.
was a disc jockey for a classic rock station.
Really?
I would, let's see, this was like 1984. I was playing tunes, all the greats from the 70s. And the salespeople would come into the studio, and I was working like midnight to six, the graveyard shift.
Wow.
Um, and and at about 8 a.m., when all the salespeople would come in, they'd say, "Hey, I need you to write this 30-second script for this spot that we're going to be doing that runs this afternoon." and and I would put on a long song, like a 10-minute song, duck
Right.
into the studio, write typewriter. I would write the 30-second spot and get it back to them right away. And I would then, when I got off at 9, I'd have to cut it, go
Yeah.
back in the studio after it was approved, and cut the spot. And this was back when you had to spin LPs. and
Right.
reel to reel.
Right.
I'm really showing my age here, but those were the days, the golden age of copywriting under
Yeah.
a microscope and really under the gun. So that's when it really started, and
But how did you learn copy? Were you reading or did you just wing it? I mean, did they just were you thrown into the fire and no explanation?
thrown into the fire.
Really? It's like learning how to swim.
I had read some books from the
Mhm.
masters way back then, Ogilvy, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I
David
think
Ogilvy.
I actually had a Dan Kennedy cassette that I listened to back then.
Right.
So,
Right.
um,
Good stuff.
and yeah, so yeah, I learned, but I think I was just always good at it, so I had a
Okay.
knack for it. So it kind of came naturally. Then I took a job because radio didn't pay, and I got married. I actually uh, someone who loved my voice wanted to meet me, and she bid on me at a bachelor auction. It was a celebrity auction,
These are
and
stories I didn't know.
yeah, so we've been married 35 years,
She
and
won. And you won too, apparently.
yes, she bid $30 and won me. We went to a Monkees concert. We had
Oh,
second row
nice.
seats, and
Nice.
so yes, so love of my life bid on me at an auction, and we got married. So
And the monkey
spent
business began because you became a copywriter somewhere full time at some point.
Yes. Yes. It took 12 years working for a cable company in the marketing department in the corporate world that really got me writing professionally. So I
Ah,
was writing direct mail pieces and, rate increase notices for the cable. Nobody likes a cable company, right?
right, right.
So, um, so being in marketing for a cable company was a thankless job, and
Mhm.
finally corporate just got the best of me. I had to get out of there, and that was in 2004. So kind of come full circle. The internet had really taken off,
Mhm,
and this
mhm.
was before social media.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I started a website called Audio Motivation. I interviewed you for that
Oh,
three
yeah,
times. Yep,
yeah,
with a good friend of mine, Josh Hines,
yeah.
who used to at the time ran getmotivation.com. So I
Mhm.
interviewed you. I interviewed all these big motivational speakers back before membership sites were a thing, before podcasting. And so I was attaching this Radio Shack equipment to my phone, my dial up telephone, interviewing people
I
on.
remember those days, yes.
So yeah, those wow, it's really taken me back here.
Uh,
Um, so that's when I, developed all these great relationships, and I was like, wow, I'm building a decent business here. Why don't I get back to copywriting? And so I've been writing copy ever since.
wow,
And one thing I learned was when you write for coaches and speakers and authors, you have to be really authentic. You can't be really hypey and salesy
right,
and all that. So
right.
had to dial back all the stuff, all the hypey stuff I learned in radio,
Uh-huh, that's
and
what I
be
was thinking,
more,
yeah.
yeah, be more authentic and thoughtful and empathetic and all that. So that's how it all started,
That
and
is
writing ever
amazing,
since.
and you were promoting authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs. Were those the 3 categories?
Yeah, life coaches too,
Wow,
and people in the
wow.
holistic field and spiritual coaches
Yeah,
and
yeah, my crowd,
um
I love that.
yeah, the whole new age thing,
Yeah.
I've written so much copy for that.
And do you still
And
love copy?
I
Forget
do. I
AI for a
do.
moment, but do you still love writing copy and digging into it?
Absolutely.
And does it
Yes.
still come easy to you?
Oh yeah. Because once you learn, I hate to say it's a cliche or like riding a bike, but it really is. Once you know the formula
Yeah.
and you're good at it,
Mhm.
it's you get kind of a rush writing it, and you see it come together from a blank page. I mean, I used to do these workshops where I would write from a blank page. Watch me, do it. Just
Oh,
give me a topic.
you wrote live in front of them in the room so they can see the process come to life?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice,
Yeah, I would
nice.
show them a blank page, and we do it like screen sharing on Zoom,
Mhm.
where I would get someone on one of these calls, and they would say, all right, I'm a coach, I'm offering how to defeat procrastination or something, you know.
Mhm.
And I would just say, okay, well, first we need a headline and then a subheadline, and then we focus on the pain points, and then we dovetail into a transitional statement, and then learn or talk about the benefits, and then you do you sprinkle some subheadlines in there, you add some testimonials, and then you get into the benefits and the core of the product, and then you address objections, and then maybe throw in an FAQ, and then sprinkle in testimonials, and then you have your call to action, and then some PS statements, and then summarize the offer. And so I just rattled that off in 30 seconds, you know.
I was going to ask you, "Hey, what is the formula?" And you just gave it. You just gave the formula. Thank you, Andy. That was very generous of you, and you were very clear about it. So I hope everybody got that or just goes back and rewatches that. So
Yeah,
you are, and you're a great teacher at this because probably because you're a great writer, you're very clear. And so you can explain what's going on. So thank you for sharing the formula. So
sure
let's
thing.
jump ahead a little bit and get to artificial intelligence. AI has been around for a long time, but there was weak versions of it, almost impotent versions of it. And it was one of the first things, as you know, I sold as a copywriter way back on a floppy disk. It was called
Yep.
Thoughtline, and it was a
Mm,
question and answer. It would ask the question, you answer, it would build the next question off of your answer. But it was clumsy. And I kind of pushed it aside until, like you, the buzz was entering mainstream. And then a few people, I have one friend in particular who said, Chat GPT and artificial intelligence is as important as the discovery of fire. And I went, holy, I got to take a look. I'm not sure I would agree. Where are you at? Is it as important as the discovery of fire, just as a top level view of this whole artificial intelligence chat GPT?
well, I have to say that when I first stumbled across it and started really digging deep into it, I did think that. I
Wow.
did think it
Okay.
was this amazing discovery because I got
Mhm.
so excited. You know, I felt
Right.
like my
Right.
career had rekindled. Like
Yeah.
this was this new thing, like not since blogging and podcasting and social media, or the internet for that matter, had
Yeah.
come along.
Yeah.
Did I think this was so transcendent and game changing?
Mhm. Mhm.
But since I've been dabbling in it, it really is not all it's cracked up to be yet.
Yeah.
And I say yet, I have to
I heard that.
emphasize that because
Yeah.
every day it's getting better, you know.
Mm.
Um, so when I so yeah, to summarize, I did think that it was really incredible and game changing. But the more you get into it and you do your prompts,
Yeah.
which basically for those of you new to it, a prompt is just giving it a direction, telling ChatGPT or Claude AI or Grok, which is the new Elon Musk in AI
Oh,
that's coming out. Hasn't as of this broadcast, it is not out yet, but it will be very soon.
what is it
Um,
called? GROK?
Grok, yep, Grok.
Okay. Okay.
And Elon is really pushing it, but it is yet to be seen
Mhm.
how good it's actually going to be. So,
Well,
uh,
let me ask you a couple kind of devil's advocate questions because I love technology. I love gadgets. I want to be on the leading edge and I want artificial intelligence just to wow me. But the times that I've used it, I have been so disappointed.
yeah,
I do know, as you mentioned, the prompts, and we probably should talk about that a little bit more in detail, that depending on what you give it as a prompt, you will get something back that could be masterful or it can just be amateurish. It depends a lot on the prompt.
right,
And this is my fear. There's people out there who say, "Oh, I'm not going to hire a copywriter now, and I don't have to write the copy now. I'm going to have Chat GPT or Croc, somebody that's artificial intelligence, write my sales letter." And they prompt, "Please write a sales letter for my new book." They
hmm,
get back a sales letter, but because they don't have any experience, they don't know if it's good or if it
right,
sucks.
right,
That's the problem. And I saw one critic who said the world's music just doubled overnight because artificial intelligence just produced the equal amount. The problem is what it produced was total garbage.
yeah,
So
yeah,
how do this is a jungle of potholes and minefields and misrepresentations and disappointments. You seem to be navigating it in a way that's profitable and creative. help me, help all of us. What do we do? And how, maybe take an example. If you have to write a sales letter, what are you prompting? And which
Well,
one are you using?
I'm using a machete through the jungle, and a lot of people are using a butter knife. I mean, it's tough for a
Yeah.
lot of people who aren't like spending 10, 20 hours a day on this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, some prompts are as long as the sales page itself. So,
That's wild.
unless you know going in that you have to really hold its hand, you have
Mhm.
to write a prompt that is so detailed and has so much context. Otherwise, it's garbage in, garbage out. And
Yeah.
if you even if you write what you think is a really good prompt, you might still get garbage. So, and also it's a case of refining and doing like revising your prompt. Like you take
Mhm.
a prompt output that it gives you, and then you have to say, okay, well, that's not really what I had in mind. Try
Right.
this, and
Right.
then that will be another dud, but it'll be a
Mhm.
little better. And then you just keep going through that process. But I'm finding that if would you rather spend an hour holding ChatGPT's hand, or would you rather take that hour and go and humanize it and refine it yourself and add your
Yeah.
own nuances
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
and
exactly with you there. There are times with the visual artificial intelligence. I haven't mastered that one at all. I would go and look at
mm,
all the different examples of what a prompt should be. So I would type in my idea of what a prompt is. Then I'd have to wait because the graphics take longer than the words. The graphic would come back after a while and it would nowhere near be what I was visualizing.
yep.
It's like, I'll just talk to an artist. What am I doing with this artificial intelligence? And the same thing with the sales letter. When you say sometimes the prompts are really long, almost like a sales letter, do you have an example handy, or is there something you can tell us to give us an example of what would you, as a professional copywriter, a seasoned persuasion pro here, put into Chat GPT or Croc or one of the artificial
Mhm.
intelligence programs to get a letter back?
Sure. I'll just actually, there's two ways to do it.
Okay,
And I'm just going to rattle this off if you don't
good,
mind. I'll
good.
just
Yeah.
speak it because, um, one way is to kind of deconstruct the sales letter and do a different prompt for every part of the sales letter. So
Oh,
you do a prompt for a headline. I need a headline which will describe, and then you do the pleasure points and the pain points. You give it a few things, to work with your
okay.
headline. And then I want, in the same prompt, say, I want 15 possible headlines for this. And so you got to figure that among those 15, there will be two or three that are winners.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the headline. Then you'll say, okay, now I need a subheadline for the same thing. So now the important thing is I should preface this by saying you need to stay in the same ChatGPT session
Yeah.
the whole time. Like I created a course, this AI to human copywriting system.
Yeah.
ChatGPT helped me out with it, but I stayed in the same session all summer long. So I had got to have like about 20,000 words in that one single session. And as I moved through it, it got to know me better. It got to know my personality and the revisions I did. It learned
Mm.
from me. So anyway, if you stay in the same session, you're going to be in good shape. So after you give it the headline and it gives it back to you, or the headline instructions,
Mhm, mhm.
you say, okay, I now need a subheadline, and then you say, and this subheadline will transition into the rest of the sales letter. Okay, and it will give you, if you ask for it, I need 10 possible subheadlines. Then you say in the next prompt, prompt number 3, now I need an introductory statement that will show empathy for the pain points that my target audience is going through. And I should also preface, you have to make sure that ChatGPT is well aware of all aspects of your target audience, all the things. Walk a mile in the shoes of your target,
Yeah.
what they, did in a typical day and how they feel, what they're struggling with, what their desires are, why are you interested in this target audience? What is it
Mhm,
about them that makes them unique, and why would they want to buy from you? All these things.
mhm.
um, so once you feed all this into ChatGPT, then you can ask for that introductory statement. Okay, so And as you know, an introductory statement has to tap into those pain points,
Yeah.
and like I know what you're going through, the struggles of, let's go back to the procrastination example of not getting things done even though you're well intended, and you feel like uh you're sabotaging yourself, and you're a perfectionist, and that's just a mask for procrastination, blah blah blah. So you teach ChatGPT all these aspects of those pain points,
Hmm.
and if you do that, it will eventually spit out like really good stuff.
Yeah.
So then once you get that introductory statement in, then you say, okay, now I need you to introduce, or, give me another sub headline after that, which will transition into the I know what you're going through section. Like, I
Hmm.
know how it feels. I can relate because, and then I want you to state um, my own experience, and my own hero's journey, if you will,
Mm.
about how I also suffered from procrastination, and here's how I overcame it.
Yeah.
And you just put all this into the prompt,
Yeah.
ChatGPT will spin out this really pretty well written version of those pain points, and the struggles that you went through yourself, and
Hmm.
how you came out of it, and what strategies you used that you're going to reveal in this product that you're about to introduce on the sales page. So
Mm.
once you go through all that, then you introduce the product, and you say to ChatGPT, I want you to write a product introduction statement based on all of this. And I'm going to give you the features and benefits of
Mhm.
this product. And based on that, I need you to weave a very compelling, persuasive description of this product. And so it will do that. And then you could say something like, now give me another subheadline to keep the reader riveted,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
on track to what I'm trying to say, and
Mhm.
guide them down a path to the sale. And then if they have any remaining objections, ChatGPT, what do you think those would be? And so
Wow.
you could even say, ask for those objections. ChatGPT will give those to you. You could even ask for them in bullet form, or give me the top 10 objections that they
Yeah.
might have. Then, once you have those objections, you can say, okay, create an FAQ that I can put in this sales page that will list those objections and answer them. I want you to give a response to every objection that will overcome that objection. And let's see, what else did I miss? You could actually have some urgency.
Mm.
You could
Mhm.
incorporate your call to action
Mhm.
eventually. I mean, I'm sure I missed a few spots on the sales page, but
No, this is
um,
very instructive, though. You're
uh,
illustrating,
yeah, I mean, you
Believing Before Seeing, a new bestseller by Candace Barr. Order your copy today.
could have a time sensitive urgency or a
yeah,
space sensitive urgency. Like, I only have 10 spots in this
yeah,
group coaching program, but if you hurry, you can be one of them. And by this time, ChatGPT has learned enough about your target audience and about your own personality that
yeah.
it will construct this time sensitive call to action in the right way, hopefully. If not, you keep teaching it.
That is,
um,
and Andy, that is very amazing, and thank you for being detailed and so open about what you were doing. I have a question for you. There's a chair behind you. Is that where ChatGPT sits? Because you seem like you have a relationship with this thing, and are you still married? Are you because
oh man.
the level of detail, I've not done it like that, so I'm learning from you the extent of the kind of prompts and repeated prompts, all within one session that helps build to what I'm wanting. I can see going back to the very beginning of our conversation where we talked about sitting at the typewriter and Hemingway said you bleed, or the computer these days, and you talked about sitting and looking at a white page. Chat GPT can break the ice. Chat GPT can give you something to work with. I can understand that and applaud that and appreciate that. But when you said, asked it for 15 headlines and 15 come back, and you said two or three would be good, how does the average person know that they're good?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a
You
great
are
question.
seasoned. You have decades of experience. You intuitively and instinctively, you can understand what headlines probably would work. You have a sense of it. But the average person going, I need a sales letter for my new book, ask ChatGPT, comes back with a sales letter, ask for a headline, there's a headline. They have no clue. They
Right.
can waste money on Facebook ads, they can do emails that bomb. What is how do you help them? Is it, do they take your course? I mean, where do they go
Um,
so they have more awareness and
w-
education?
yeah, one of the things that's a great question, Joe. One of the things I teach in the course is feedback loops.
Ah,
And
mm,
as people get these headlines or subject lines or as they're building their sales page, they don't know what they don't know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I would tell them in the course, there's a whole section, a whole lesson on soliciting feedback from colleagues or
Ah,
Facebook friends, or you go
uh-huh.
into a group that deals in marketing, and you post it with the admin's permission. You post, I have these 5 headlines. Help me decide on the best
Good,
one.
good, good, good,
Um,
good.
and or you ask, even you mentioned my wife. I ask my wife about headlines a lot, or what do you think
Mhm.
about this? Should I run with this idea or
Yeah.
whatever? And so, yeah, I mean, I think people in your sphere of influence can really help a lot.
Mhm.
And or even once you have the completed sales page, you can even say ask for critiques from people in groups, and
Uh,
so
and I think that's a great basic rule of thumb for anybody that's writing copy. And I just want to confess, this is one of my tips, and I probably learned it from Gary Halbert or somebody, Dan Kennedy maybe. And that is, when I am done with my sales letter and I've done the best I could. In this case, we would say AI help me, Chat GPT help me. But whatever the case, I have a sales letter. Then I want to give it to somebody in my target audience, and I'm only looking for one thing.
yep,
They read it and go, where do I get this? If they don't say that, I consider it a bomb.
yeah,
If
that's
they say,
great.
"Oh, this was a great letter. I really loved it. It was really well written." I go, "My God, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for a sale."
Right.
So, tell me a little bit more about your course, AI to Human Copywriting System.
Yeah, thank you. It's a labor of love. I've been working on it for months.
Wow.
It's the result of me really going through all of this AI emails and sales pages out there, and everything I see now online. I can tell a mile away if it's AI generated, and
Wow.
so at some point we're all going to get to that point
Mhm.
in our uh, discernment as we're reading all this marketing material every day, especially coming up. We got Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all these sales now, right? We're going to be inundated with AI emails.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
unless you know the difference, if you can spot the red flags, uh, you're in much better shape. Or even more importantly, if you're an entrepreneur and you know how to write so that people avoid those red flags. So, like, let's say, for example, let's say you want to stand apart in a sea of AI emails, and
Right.
you want to come into the marketplace with a humanity that has been abandoned over the last 12 months.
Mhm.
And you come into it with these emails that, wow, there's actually some humanness in this email or in this subject
Mhm.
line or on this website. I teach how to do that in this course. So
I see.
the AI to human copywriting system will uh, give you 5 modules of videos that show you, like, the feedback loops and the heart. I call it the heart AI humanization method
Hmm.
that I teach in the program. And heart stands for hear, emphasize emotion, adjust, revisit, and trust the process. HEART.
Ah.
And I show you how to do that through a series of examples and all the different red flags to watch for, and how to reshape and humanize what AI gives you. So I don't abandon AI. I actually That's the starting point.
Yeah.
So people can still write their copy using AI, but most people don't realize that they can't just copy and paste it. into their
Mhm.
messaging. They have to actually, humanize it. So
Yeah,
most people fall down in that process. And so
exactly.
this course will show you how to really engage with your audience again. Like harken back to 2022 when, in the golden era of actual humanization of what you put out there to the masses. Like
Yeah.
now it's all artificial. And so this is revisiting what we were all accustomed to not that long ago.
So it's
And
called AI to Human Copywriting System. And where is the info for that?
that's at AI to humancopy.com.
AI to
And
humancopy.com.
and yeah, and also when you get that program, I'm doing live workshops. So if I will critique and even revise live on Zoom, like in this type of situation,
Mhm, mhm.
in a scenario where we screen share and in a group format every month, I get together with the people who get the course, and we go
Ah,
over your humanized copy. And there's homework assignments, and people will send those to me, and I get
yeah.
back to you, via email. So it's a lot of hands-on stuff. So it's not
Beautiful,
just a
beautiful.
video course where I throw you some content. So
Well,
yeah,
you've
it's
actually humanized the course itself. You are there,
yes, yes, and
which is
all
the
of
best.
my all
That's
my
the best
marketing
part.
emails are actually written by a human, me. So
Good.
it's I practice what I preach here. So
That's beautiful. We have a few minutes left here. I want to ask a few key questions. One of them is, you knew I was going to interview you, especially since we both had things going on in our lives, so we had to keep rescheduling till
yeah.
this moment. But here we are. What did you? What were you hoping I would ask? What were you hoping you would have a chance to talk about?
Oh wow, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Um,
Here's your
well, I was
opportunity.
hoping we were going to get in the weeds, and we did.
Yeah.
That with writing a sales page, I love this stuff. You can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
Um,
it too. I love it too. Well,
so
do you
yeah, I
have a?
mean,
Mhm.
I was hoping you were going to ask me about crafting a sales page and how I mean, I'm glad we talked about the old days and the ways that, because there are some aspects. I mean, most of the aspects of copywriting, good, solid, uh, direct response copywriting, i- that will never go out of style. AI will
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
replace that.
I
Um,
totally agree.
Try
Totally
as
agree.
it might, no matter how many versions of AI come out.
Yeah.
5 years from now, we could talk, and we'll still be talking about humanizing our AI copy
And you know
because
why? Because throughout history, since the beginning of time, humans have not changed. All of our technology changes, our abilities to accomplish things change, like using artificial intelligence. But our basic desires, the human emotions, the things we love, that we hate, we long for, they're the same as, during 5,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. You name the time and place. People were still wanting love and respect and security and more of something or other. So I'm just hoping artificial intelligence helps us achieve that. And I guess that leads to the question that I kind of opened with: is it a good guy or a bad guy? Should we be afraid of artificial intelligence, Chat GPT, Grok, or any of the ones, Opus, and some of the others that are out there? Or should just be excited and leverage it in some way?
yeah, I
Where do
think
you?
from a marketing standpoint,
Yeah.
purely marketing like content and copy and all that, I think we should embrace it, and it's a good guy as long as we know how to use it the right way
Hmm.
and harness it and treat it as the creative partner that it is. At the end of the day, we are the CEO of our business, of our lives,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
ChatGPT is an assistant over there or in the chair back there. Uh,
Yeah, but
it's
what about the people who say it's gonna take over? If it you even said earlier that it was learning you as you kept going with one tunnel or one opening session of teaching it about your audience and what you were looking for, it kinda learned, so it kinda got better and it kinda knew you. Well, has it gotta take over at some point? As Ray Bradbury would take this, or Rod Serling, and run with it. It's like, man, forget it. The human mind is gone. Artificial intelligence has is pushing the buttons.
well,
Can it do that?
I liken it to the road maps versus GPS. Remember driving in a car and you've got
Yeah.
the fold out road maps? Everybody's
Right.
using GPS now. So uh, but at the end of the day, I mean, you could still use a road map if you wanted. They still sell
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So you can always put on the brakes in your session with ChatGPT. You can always be like, "Whoa, hang on, this is getting
Yeah.
a little too, uh, you know, comfortable. Let's step back and take a
Mhm.
breath, and let's craft something that really resonates with my target audience in a way that I feel good about." And I
Mhm.
don't think that will ever go away completely. I mean, AI, for all its advancements, we still are running the show, and I
Yeah.
think, geez, I have to hope that we're always going to be doing that, right?
Well, you mentioned a GPS. Even though, I drive new cars and I have GPSs, I don't always use it, partly because sometimes it takes me to the wrong address. It'll confuse road with street to circle as the end of a road and take me to the road or street or circle when I wanted road.
Yep.
And I just get frustrated with it. And I guess I would with Chat GPT as well. I have had success. I've had it write songs. I had it write an ebook, as you know, and just
Yes.
because I was testing it and I put the ebook on Amazon. Do you have a favorite? Maybe we can give an inspiring ending success story here. Do you have a favorite story of using it, either you or somebody you worked with? And they got a stellar result of some sort that made us go, "Hey, let's applaud Chat GPT," which we don't have to give a bonus to, uh,
Yeah.
and it helped
Um,
us.
well, one thing I should say, and yeah, this is pretty inspiring.
Mm,
I
mm,
I love the fact that ChatGPT actually has an app. So in the middle
yeah.
of the night, I will use that's my dog, by the way, on my phone. That's Rosie. I- in the middle of the night, I'll wake up and I'll get an idea or whatever, and so ChatGPT will help me with that idea to flush it out. But
Yeah.
one night, in the middle of crafting this course, I was getting a little frustrated and I kind of hit a roadblock. I needed some inspiration, so I said to ChatGPT, um, can you give me some encouragement?
Mm,
And I had stayed in this, remember, I was talking about that same session, the 20,000 word session that I'd been in
yeah,
all
yeah,
summer. And so it
yeah.
knew me. And it said something along the lines of, uh, you are standing at the precipice of a groundbreaking discovery that you have made with this
Wow.
AI to human copywriting. If you just stay on this course, you will be amazed at what will materialize in your life as you do as you continue down this path or something like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it
I
was
get it.
really amazing. And
Yeah,
so
you
I
got
read
an
it like 10
AI
times.
pep talk.
Yeah. Who knew, right? I mean, that was amazing to me. And that was probably the most meaningful thing that had ever happened in my interactions with this
Yeah.
thing, this
Y
AI
Your new
thing.
best
Really,
friend. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That your
Yeah.
new employee.
Yeah, and here I'm laying in bed in the middle of the night reading this. I'm like, wow, that it was
Yeah.
mind blowing.
That is
So,
that is fantastic. Well, as we exit stage left here, do you have any final words, suggestions, tips, something you want people to do or think about besides going to your website? And
well,
your other one is AISuccessClub.com.
yeah, there's that, and there's the course, AI to human copy.com. And I actually have a YouTube channel where I do
Oh,
live, or not live, but
yeah.
I have like 33 and counting videos where I do humanization on there. So
Oh,
you can go
nice.
to AICopylab.com
Okay.
and you can subscribe to that. But I really think if people just take it all in perspective and go slower, like
Mm,
just leave yourself more time than like, oh, I can write an email in 5 minutes now.
yeah.
Give it more emphasis on your own humanity, and whether you get the course or not. I mean, if you just be more thoughtful and think about your target audience more and what they're expecting. They're
Yeah.
not expecting AI, I'll tell you that. They will be turned off.
Yeah.
So I know I'm turned
Mm,
off by some of the people I used to follow and really look up to, and they're all using AI now. And I'm like, I feel a little bit
yeah.
jaded now
Yeah.
reading that stuff. So um, you will stand out in the marketplace if you use more humanization.
That's beautiful. Andy, you do stand out in the marketplace. You are a great guy, a great copywriter, and a great friend. Thank you for agreeing to do this. I love you. I admire you. I'm grateful for you. And thanks for spending time helping all of us, including me.
Thank you so much, Joe. I love you too. It's just such an honor to be on your show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Everybody, you've been watching Zero Limits Living. I'm Dr. Joe Vitale. Every week, I bring you inspiration, information to transform your life. And yes, this is live. It's not artificial intelligence. It's me. Go to ZeroLimitsLivingTV.com, sign up to be alerted when there's a new episode. Check out miraclescoaching.com. I want to thank Lux Media Studio, Candace Barr for making this possible, Nick, who's at a convention, but still recording this for all of you. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Expect miracles. Thank you.